lots of stuff out here.
Hi. Here it is, 5:30, and I'm going to try to keep it a good news story tonight because you might not want to watch the news today. I don't want to watch the news today. They're just the little bits that I've had are almost too much. They're almost too much. We went for a walk today. We went for a lovely walk at a really secluded place, and that was nice because there was just nobody to have to deal with, and we were out looking over the bluffs and down to Lake Ontario. It was really, really nice. And trying to do things to like shed some of this because it's really quite overwhelming, I think. So tonight we're going to make lamb kofta, which is a lovely something that's made all across the Middle East. And last night we made something Middle Eastern, specifically Moroccan. But tonight we're going to do something that's just sort of a generic Middle Eastern. It's made in Israel, Lebanon, Kuwait. They make kofta. Syria, Jordan, all those kind of places. It's a real staple. It's like hamburgers, basically. But it's made with lamb. And we're going to make that tonight. And you're going to you already watched the one on Moroccan chicken with couscous. You're going to recognize some of these flavors that are very typical across the Middle East. I think I'm feeling like doing international cooking because, we keep hearing news from across the globe. We're so all in this together. Hi, Tracy. Nice to have you there tonight. A lot of people are busy. I think a lot of people are working from home and just pulling their kids, back from a day at school and aren't tuning in live, but that's fine because you know what? I'm doing this for whoever wants to watch, and if you want to watch later, that's great. And then I'm putting them on YouTube, so anybody can watch later. And I'm just doing them while I make dinner. So it's like you're having somebody to hang out with in the kitchen, and I'm really happy to have you here, Tracy. That's great. All right. Okay, so kofta. All right, so Bob's going to help me to film. The things that you need to make kofta, the ingredients are some ground lamb, certain spices, again, the same ones we used last night, cardamom, cinnamon, and cumin. Some cilantro. Somebody went shopping for me today. My wonderful kids went shopping for me today, so I have fresh cilantro. As a matter of fact, they got me quite a few fresh herbs, so I'm going to spend some time stripping them down and putting them into ice cube trays with a little bit of olive oil and put them in the freezer so that I will have fresh herbs, although frozen, to use throughout this time because things are getting harder to find. Plus, we're not shopping like, oh, I think I'll just run over to the store and get some cilantro. That's not going to happen. So some cilantro, some garlic, some onion, and some colored peppers. Also, some almonds. That was the same we used last night. I've already toasted these in the oven. I was reading up on toasting nuts. Always better to do them in the oven than on top of the stove because the heat is much more even all the way around. So you're going to get, you're not going to burn them, and the oils in nuts burn really easily. So it's a really good idea to just do them in the oven, but toasting on your nuts always improves their flavor. So we're going to make the kofta. In the Middle East, where were we, Bob? We were in Istanbul. We had kofta. In Istanbul, we met the mayor of Istanbul in this restaurant. It was so weird. Anyway, they usually put it on a stick. They form it around a stick, like a shish kebab stick, and do it on the barbecue that way. But you can also make it into little patties, and that's what we're going to do tonight because I don't have any of those sticks. And if I did, maybe I do, but I didn't soak them. You have to soak them.
It's next to, what's it called, the Blue Mosque?
Yeah, it was right near the Blue Mosque. That's right. So, we had kofta there. Anyway, I learned a lot about Middle Eastern cooking just sort of through osmosis when we lived there for 2 years. So, I'm sharing that with you right now. So Bobby's going to come around and camera around. There's Bobby. Say hi to Tracy. It's Tracy who's watching tonight.
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Great. Okay, here we go. Okay, So the first thing, food processor. You could chop if you don't have a food processor, but I'm going to be a bit lazy. The almonds are going straight into the food processor. It's the first thing. I'm just going to chop these toasted almonds up in the food processor. A little more. Okay, so we've got a nice, it hasn't gone all the way to ground. There's still some pieces in there. Okay, that's going in the bowl. Oops. And then, because I've got the food processor dirty already, I might as well do the vegetables in there, so that's what we're going to do as well. This is quite a slightly different method than normal, so we're going to, oops, oh, you know what? What am I missing here? Oh, yeah, I'm going to put the peppers, onions, garlic, and cilantro right in the food processor there. Chop that up really well. The only thing is that's going to make it a little bit liquid. So just one more pulse. Okay. So I'm going to put it through a strainer to ensure that I don't have too much liquid that will go into my pasta. Did I put peppers in my wine? Oh well. Still tastes good. Okay, so these are going to go into a strainer here, just to give them a little squish through the strainer to squish out some of the liquid. Oh, that's really pungent. The garlic and the onions. Okay. Myself a lot of space here. Just going to push that through a little bit to see if there's any excess liquid that I don't really want to make my meatballs mushy. Yeah, there's squeeze that extra liquid. Oops. Look what happened. Well, that was dumb. Now it just got wet again. Let's try that again. So quite a flavorful, like I was telling you last night, Middle Eastern cooking is not shy about their flavors. They go for really bold flavors, lots of really fragrant spices, and not like they really go for a lot of flavor. Adding to that, a teaspoon of cinnamon. What you think of as sweet spices get used with meat. A teaspoon of cumin. Oh, that's not even open yet. I just got that today too. I was out. Yes, my lovely children went and got me ginger, which I was out of, and cumin. Oh, that smells so good when it's fresh. And some cardamom. You might not be that familiar with cardamom. They make what they call white coffee in the Middle East. It's not actually coffee at all. It's made with cardamom. It's cardamom seeds made into like a coffee, and it's quite delicious. And they serve it to you everywhere. You've heard of Middle Eastern hospitality. It's really true. You can't go into any shop or even the bank. You've got to sit down. They're going to serve you coffee, and a man comes around with one of those big pots with the long spout, and he's got a stack of little cups, and he clicks them together, and that means, would you like coffee? That's what it means. And if you want one, you take a little cup off the top of his stack, and he pours it with that very long spout while you're waiting to do your banking, or whatever. You can't go into any shop, any business. When we go to the travel agent, they bring us Turkish coffee there, or a cup of tea. Turkish coffee. Oh my God, that's so strong. And then in goes the meat. We have lots of stories about the Middle East. Don't even get us started. Oh, you'll be, oh my goodness. The meat goes in. What am I missing? I think I've got it all. Okay, I think that's everything. Goes in there. Did I get everything? I think so. Oh, it smells wonderful. So like I say, in the Middle East, they would use their hands to form that around a stick, but I'm going to just make it into kofta balls, and I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet, and then, because it's not raining yet, we're going to go out and barbecue them, grill them on the barbecue. So just a little ball and just a little bit flat, and we're going to make as many as that will make. And so a lovely dinner is to have very typical Middle Eastern dinner is some kofta, and then they have what they call mesa. Mesa means like little things. They say that's not a real dinner. Mesa is like appetizers. Kofta would be one of them, but we're going to have it with hummus, which is at every meal. And I will show you how to make hummus one day if you want. It's very, very easy, but I have some hummus in the fridge, so we're going to have that hummus. I've got some naan. I didn't have pita, but I've got naan. We're going to grill the naan and then cut it into pieces to have with our kofta. And then when I'm done making these balls, I'm going to make a yogurt sauce to go with them. And then I'm also going to make a very simple and typical kind of sort of Moroccan kind of salad, which will be just some greens, some sweet onions, some orange segments, and some apricots, dried apricots, chopped up. That's also a very, really kind of typical kind of thing that you would have anywhere in the Middle East, I would say, because oranges grow everywhere. You've heard of jackal oranges. They come from, where do those come from? Israel? Israel, I guess? And Middle Eastern cooking borrows from Greek, or I guess, or maybe it's the other way around. And it also borrows from Indian a little bit, because there's so many Indians that live in the Middle East. Very, very, there's such a huge diaspora of Indians living all over the Middle East, Dubai and Kuwait. Okay, so those are pretty big kaftas, and we're going to grill those later. I'm just going to wash my hands, and we're going to make a bit of a sauce. Not a huge fan of raw garlic. Tzatziki is like the Greek style, always has raw garlic. So I'm not going to use raw garlic in this. I'm just going to call it a yogurt sauce rather than tzatziki. I've got some, but I have Greek yogurt, nice thick yogurt. It's very similar to what they have in the Middle East. Actually, they have something they call Lebanese, which is a cultured, thinner kind of a drink, but they also use it for dip. And one of the first things we learned when we worked at a school, and the very first thing we learned was to buy these little Lebanese cucumbers, which are now everywhere here, but I had never seen them before. In the early 2000s when we were there, I'd never seen these little tiny cucumbers like this before, unless they were for pickling, which these aren't. And Lebanese, people would have like a little bowl of Lebanese and these cucumbers, and they dip and eat them. That was, for a snack. So I'm going to do just, I'm not good at measuring. I don't know, what is this? Like maybe half a cup of yogurt. I'm going to chop some cucumber. chop some cilantro. Oh, I'm so happy to have fresh herbs in the house. Ooh, what a treat. Just put your knife down like that. If you don't know how to do that, it's really, really easy. If you have a good sharp knife, put it down like that. Put your hand here and then just, you know, like you're going around the clock like that. And I want these chopped up a little bit more too. So, such a lovely, fresh tasting sauce to have with the kofta. So that's going in there with yogurt. You can put in raw garlic if you like that. If it likes you. You know what I mean? Did I put salt into the kofta? I don't think I did.
I don't recall you doing that.
I don't think I did. It's all right. I'll put a little salt on top of it. A little bit of salt in here. I'll put salt on top. And I'm going to add a little bit of feta. Again, like I said, it really borrows from the Greek. Not that far apart. That's too much. Crumble that in there. Stir. Really classic Middle Eastern cooking. That's going to go into a pretty bowl. I'm going to put the hummus in a pretty bowl. Grill up these kofta, grill up the naan. Again, an Indian influence, as I said. They make pita, but they're not so different than naan. And I guess when my kids were shopping today, they didn't find pita. They found naan. It's not a time when you can get everything you need. And then just a salad on the side, like I said, some mixed greens, some apricots, some sweet onion, and some oranges. And that's going to be our dinner. Later on, I will upload this to YouTube, and I will post some pictures of the finished dinner. And when I get around to it, I'll put a recipe on there for you as well, which I've been doing. I think that there's a spot in the YouTube, I've noticed, that for description. I don't know how many words it'll take, but if it'll take enough, I might be able to put the recipes in there. I've been trying to figure out how can I put the recipe with the video. So I'll try that. If not, I'll put it on Facebook, okay? So, is just Tracy there still? Is it just Tracy?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, and so Tracy, I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a really great day. I've been enjoying connecting with you, and I'll look for you.
Wanda's with us too.
Oh, and Wanda. Hi, Wanda. You got your recipe. Thank you for pushing me to do that, because, you know, I'm really a little of this, little of that, don't measure anything kind of cook. So you pushed me to get a little disciplined about that and put up the recipe for you on that Moroccan couscous and chicken that we had last night, which I'm going to tell you did not reheat all that well, and we shouldn't have reheated it in the microwave because it makes the chicken tough. So I'm going to say, if you're going to have the leftovers, either have them cold or maybe do them on the stove in a fry pan, but I would say have it cold because it just seems to the microwave just ruins boneless chicken. I'll just give you that tip. Okay. Thank you for being staying with me tonight, and comment if you want, send me a chat, whatever. I always love that, and I love you for watching, and I'll see you later another time, okay?
Bye now.
Good night.